You're watching WWMT, Channel 3. Barry Shandley, Cindy Dole, John Koch Sports, and meteorologist John Wendell's weather. This is News 3.
Two major stories tonight. A West Michigan woman is the first woman listed as missing in action in the Persian Gulf War. And firefighters say they believe at least 3 people are dead in a plane crash tonight in Los Angeles. Hello, West Michigan. I'm Barry Shandley. And I'm Cindy Dole. A U.S. air jet from Columbus, Ohio collided with a small commuter plane and crashed into a building tonight at Los Angeles International Airport. Early reports are that 3 people are believed dead and at least 30 others reported injured in this accident. The collision occurred shortly after 6 Pacific time, 9 Eastern. Witnesses to the accident describe what they saw.
What I saw was the plane coming down the runway. Next thing I saw was just a bright flash, very quick, and then a ball of flames running down the runway, going down the runway.
So far, the cause of the crash is not known, nor is the extent of the injuries involved. We will update these facts as they become available throughout our newscast. The first woman missing in action in the Persian Gulf War is from West Michigan, Melissa Rathbun Neely, a 20-year-old with an Army Transport Unit, a young woman who went to high school in Grand Rapids, whose mother and father live north of there in a town, Newaygo. News 3's Jeff Lisson was in Newaygo tonight and has that story. Jeff?
Cindy, for obvious reasons, the family didn't want to talk to us tonight, but we were lucky enough to have a family friend, a spokesperson, tell us the story. When Leo and Joan Rathbun first heard on the TV that a woman was missing, they joked that it could never be their Melissa. They had just heard from her a few days earlier on the phone. She'd sounded good. They thought it could never be their daughter. Not out of the hundreds of thousands of troops gathered in Saudi Arabia. It could, and it was. A day ago, this was just a side road northwest of Newaygo, and the Rathbun family home, just another patriotic house with a flag in the yard and a loved one in the Gulf. Then the word came. Melissa Ann, their only child, was missing in action.
At first, the news, of course, was shocking in that it brought their worst fears to reality.
The Army says she and another soldier had been driving their Jeep near the Kuwaiti border. The Army found the Jeep, some gas masks and duffel bags, but no soldiers. There's still a search going on, still a chance that they'll be found.
All of us, the Rathbuns, Leo and Joan especially, are actually clinging to that.
Now county sheriff's deputies guard the Rathbun home, and friends and family stop by to help wait.
The support that's coming in from the community and from family and friends has been an outpouring.
One childhood friend called Melissa a resourceful person. The prayer in Newaygo is that she's using her resourcefulness to somehow make it back to safety. An Army representative drove up to the house, the Rathbun house, while we were there tonight. We're told that the military is keeping the Rathbuns posted, telling them how the search is going, Cindy.
How are the family members doing tonight?
Well, as you can understand, it's still very, very tough for them. It's nice to have friends and family around, and they also are expecting a big crowd tomorrow in Grand Rapids for a church service to pray for Melissa.
Are they notified frequently? Given updates?
As much as they can be. It's a rough road they're going through right now.
All right, thanks, Jeff.
CBS News is reporting that Iraq says it will treat Allied prisoners of war as war criminals. The United States has already protested Iraq's treatment as not fulfilling the terms of the Geneva Convention. The U.S. has submitted Iraqi POWs to the scrutiny of international agencies, but so far Iraq has not. The families of war prisoners and those missing in action got some extra support today as they wait anxiously to learn the fate of their loved ones. President Bush singled them out in his speeches today.
Because I know in my heart how tough these days can be. And there's a lot of waiting, a lot of uncertainty, the not knowing.
The president made a tour of the South to boost morale and finished the tour saying it was his morale that was boosted. This was the first time the president left the White House since war began on January 16th.
If families of soldiers are innocent victims of war, so are refugees, people who flee their homeland to avoid the ravages of war. The highway between Baghdad and Jordan has been nicknamed the highway through hell.
The roadway is a common target for Allied air raids since this is the way Jordan gets supplies from Iraq. But many innocent people get caught in the traffic of war. The Jordanian government announced today it will have to start rationing gasoline next week since the bombing raids have so successfully halted those shipments. The picture of destruction in Baghdad is now being drawn by the U.S. Tomahawk missiles. U.S. military officials say the cruise missiles are targeted for military locations, but Iraqi radio says residential areas are being attacked and civilians are being killed. Pentagon sources say that anti-aircraft fire could affect a missile's track.
About 1,200 General Dynamics workers will be laid off this year at tank-making plants in 3 states, including Michigan. This is the second round of layoff notices in less than a month for the nation's second biggest defense contractor. Last month, the company laid off about 4,000 aerospace workers after the Defense Department canceled development of the Navy's A-12 jet. And daycare licensing in Michigan will be a program of the past as the result of new state budget cuts. The Michigan State Legislature is requiring the Department of Social Services to trim its budget by 9.2%. The department plans to eliminate its daycare licensing program. That means just about anyone could open a daycare center.
It could mean very scary things for parents and their children that are in daycare.